Five. Here we go.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to the Friday Night Chaos stream for the 15th of February, 2019. As you can see from tonight's title, we're getting that wall, folks. About time, too. Seriously, I don't mean to complain, but my neighborhood's the one where they're chopping the kids up with, with the axes, MS-13, so... Yeah.
Oh, they're chopping up kids? Are they cutting off tails like the Three Blind Mice?
Are you talking about abortions or MS-13?
Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all run up to the farmer's wife who cut the pigtails with the carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? Three blind mice. Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all run up to the farmer's wife who cut the pigtails with the carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice?
Yes, MS-13, Kel. that's what I was talking about. But before we get into it...
New York, and there was that bill that was recently passed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I was referring to with the wall. But before we get into that, though, let me just give everybody the quick intro because we do got an audience, and they're going to want to know who's who and what's what, especially now that there are the three Scoobies. So... in case anyone's wondering what...
Yeah. Squeak.
What the hell is that weird noise in the background? Kill it!
I didn't do it. Look at me.
All right. Well, anyway, before we get too far into this, let's go through who's who and what's what. Now, you guys normally I'll tell everybody, pay attention and look at everyone's avatar. Yeah, that's out the window tonight. So... yeah, tonight we're just going to go with it by, okay, first, as you can see, I'm just going to tell you who's not Scooby, and then we're just going to say who is Scooby. Okay, so here's the deal. Now, obviously, you can look at the avatars. You see we have with us tonight an American Celt. Celt, how are you?
Okay.
All right, good. And we have with us, of course, NaNoReaper. Nano, how are you?
Fine.
All right, so now that the audience knows who those two folks are, now we get down to the three Scoobies. Now, obviously, I am Scooby because you can hear the voice.
No, you're not. I'm Scooby.
I'm Scooby, god damn it.
And then we have Tara and Burnside. Now that we've gotten that out of the way with the three Scoobies, let's get down to the topics. Kel, you were talking about the thing with the bill with MS-13 and the thing with the Angel Moms.
I was trying to clarify if you're talking about abortion or MS-13.
Yeah, well, we got both of those are on the plate because I just want to mention really quick. Next week, I believe it is. Yeah,
Planned Parenthood hiring MS-13.
No, next week actually. We're gonna go back. We'll go into it later on, but I want to mention it at the top of the hour tonight. There's a big rally going to be up in Albany next Saturday. And, hey, Bobby, what's going on?
Oh, hey, how you doing? I finally got on here. Figured out how to do it.
Yeah,
awesome.
Time, and we just started. Yeah, so to address what you were talking about, Cal, next Saturday up in Albany, we're basically having this huge rally to tell Governor Cuomo to take it and shove it up his ass. Because, look, I always tell people, I'm pro-choice specifically to avoid travesties like this crazy shit that the government is doing. Like, it's only because I grew up, and I had a few friends who were like fucked up and had scars and whatnot wrong with them because it was illegal at the time and their mother was, a skank and she went into a back alley with a fucking hanger. And the kid survived. Like one guy, his whole face, like one side of his face is all screwed up because they scrambled his face while he was in the womb, And that's the only reason I've always been pro-choice is just so it was done by a doctor in a hospital. Well, guess what Cuomo just did? Now any asshole on the street can do it. So why the fuck am I going to, tell people, well, I'm pro-choice to make sure that it's done properly when this fucking mafioso just turned around and made it where it's the exact opposite of what I support. So, nah, fuck him. I'm going up to Albany. And yeah, like I said, later on in the show, we'll have details. So, anyone who's tuning in right now and is interested, got to stay till the end because we're going to give like full details. But that's what's going on. So, other than that, I know we got a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight, guys. The thing with the wall, the national emergency, what's going to be going down with the court response because he's going to have to go through the courts. So, let's get to it, guys. What do we got?
I was just wondering how the New Yorkers are looking into that Amazon thing that Donkey Face lost for your city.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Bobby. Nana was talking about it earlier tonight, too. I am beside myself with fucking rage. I'm livid over this.
Yeah.
That was going to be so good for the economy. It was going to get to so many jobs.
Well, it was going to create $24.5 billion worth of direct jobs. That's 24,000 or so.
Yeah.
And then look at tertiary and secondary jobs created by industries that would be opening up to support that.
All the smaller companies.
Yeah, so
that's a true socialist. It's good to get that out. People could see what a real socialist looks like. Doesn't care anything about work, job, money, nothing. Just socialism.
She's a fucking champagne socialist. And like I said, she successfully killed private industries 92,000 jobs.
Damn.
Which is one of the things that really she's gonna kill a bunch. And the thing is, she's like, billionaires are evil. Well, newsflash, fucking retards. Government doesn't create a single job. Every job created by the government is a net loss to the domestic product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'll say that as a government employee. I worked for the government for most of my adult life. I worked as a laborer, and the thing that bothered me was I'm sitting there working on the state job. Now, don't get me wrong, the pay is good, the pension's good, the perks, the benefits, yeah, that's all fantastic. But why do we have to hire state employees? Why can't you work up a deal where you sub out to people, whoever has the best bid, and for that term, that season, that year, however you work it, they accrue those benefits. And more likely than not, that would motivate this crew to give you a great performance. So next year you rehire them again.
Because that would be considering doing something intelligent. Government doesn't do something intelligent.
Yeah, that's the problem. Well, this illustrates why I voted for Trump. Because Trump is actually trying to force things to get laid out that way, which is what I want. I grew up in a Teamster household. Whole family still are Teamsters. The old man was the first one to say, what the union's doing is they're killing the fatted calf slowly. They're bleeding the country, they're bleeding the government, bleeding the economy. Until I worked in a Teamster shop, I never knew rage like I know about getting fucking fleeced. Like, check this out. In my neighborhood, and I don't know, this is probably a lot of neighborhoods around here. The Teamster run shops that drive the snow plows when the streets get done. When it's snowing, it don't matter how deep that snow is, those blades do not touch pavement until 11:01 p.m. Because at 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock's when the OT kicks in.
That's
how it goes. But that's how it works. That's exactly how that works. Now, this is the thing, too. Those blades don't go all the way down to the ground either. They leave them up, so they have to do a couple of passes. They got it worked really good, yeah. Bro, my street, the other day it snowed. We got like 2 inches. My fucking street got plowed 8 times after midnight.
Wow. That's not a lot.
Bro, 2 inches, 8 times the fucking plow went down the street for 2 inches. Nah, seriously, man. They fleece the fuck out of us here. It's disgusting. And it's not just us. It's anything that's run and controlled by the Democrats. This son of a bitch named that bridge after his fucking mobster father. And now we got to pay 5 cents for the bags at the supermarket. We never had to pay before. Now, I don't mind getting hit in the wallet on the bags. That's not the point. You disingenuous fuck. We know exactly why you're doing it. So because the president took away my state's ability to subsidize the federal government was subsidizing New Yorkers to live. We were able to claim our taxes, and the federal government would cover it. And some people, like my one sister, she lives down on the water in Massapequa. I think her taxes are like $36,000 a year. That's not uncommon around here. You know, you go up on the North Shore, like where they filmed The Great Gatsby, you got people got like 7-figure taxes. That's nuts.
You know, your governor was blaming the state of Florida for losing all the millionaires out of New York. They're all fleeing to Florida, and he was blaming their governor or the people down in Florida or some shit that you guys are losing all your money or your tax base. But he's running them out, right?
The fact that Florida has no state income tax.
Yeah. And you know what it is? You got to realize my governor is a mafioso douche canoe.
Yeah.
Seriously. He's the type of person where, you know, God forbid if an assassin went after him, you'd hope that the guy used the ass end of the gun and pistol whipped him to death, because the bastard's not worth getting shot. Seriously. Cuomo is the type, if he burst into flames and I was freezing to death, I'd say, fuck it, I'm going to stand over here and be cold. Really, I would not even take the warmth off of his burning carcass. I can't stand the motherfucker. Don't even get me started.
You guys get elected. It seems like in New York, all you have to have is a D next to your name, and you get elected.
Well, yeah, that's because it's as crooked as a country road here. Like me and Burnside were talking about it a couple of months ago. Like I told him, I said, yeah, you think Chicago politics is something? They can't hold it. My whole state is like that one city. It's crazy. Like,
Fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. The Democrats are not stupid. They did for a while, but unfortunately now New York is starting to get a good share of them in the past, like 5 years or so. They used to allocate all of the crazies out to fucking California. They put all of their criminals in Chicago, and they put all of the businessmen here. And that's the only reason that the Democrats were able to keep shit afloat. They would keep all the they separate these fucking people. Nah, once Obama came in, they figured, oh, well, fuck it, we'll just open all the gates. And that's when all the fucking masks dropped, and you get to see how crazy these fucking douchebags are.
Yep.
That fucking Cory Booker. Can you honestly not look at him and not picture him in a fucking straitjacket when he's talking?
Well, he's a big racist. Him and that Kamala Harris or whatever, them are the two biggest racists in Congress. I can't believe how racist those people are. And they want to be presidents of this country? Oh, my God.
They're the type of people you'd like to put in an oil drum and throw down a 5-story walk down. Just watch them go banging down the stairs.
Oh, those two are just, you could tell by looking at they're racist. I've seen faces like that when I worked for CHA in Chicago. They are racist, believe me.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time. They're white haters, believe me.
Oh, yeah. Especially that bunny-eyed fuck Booker. I can't stand him. I really cannot stand Cory Booker. The reason I don't like Cory Booker is he came out and he talked all this shit about President Trump when he was running. Do you know that Ivanka and Jared Trump got him elected?
No way. Wow.
They ran his campaign for when he was running for mayor of Newark, and they ran his campaign for when he was running for senator in Jersey.
Damn, what a backstabbing piece of shit.
Yeah. Bless you. I can't stand him. He's the most slimy prick I've ever seen. I really can't stand Cory Booker.
No, they are white haters. You could tell by looking at it. They are white haters.
Yeah. Well, he's not even human. What the fuck is he anyway? He's just.
He's probably one of those David Icke. He's probably one of those David Icke or some shit.
Yeah. No, he's just. I don't know. Whenever I see the man talking, something about his eyes, he just strikes me as being an evil prick. I mean, I know he's an evil prick.
The Democrats seem to have a lot of evil pricks running for president. They got about 15 people or so.
Oh, yeah. You know, I was telling them, and no one believes me. That Kristen Gillibrand that they're putting up, my state senator, the one that took Hillary Clinton's seat when she vacated.
Yeah.
If I had no other choice but to vote Democrat, and it was between Hillary Clinton and Kristen Gillibrand, I'd vote for Hillary Clinton. Think about that. That fucking woman has ice water in her veins. That Gillibrand.
They got some real hate people. The Democrat Party.
Oh yeah.
They got real hate there.
Oh fuck it. Yeah, you got go and like I tell people all the time, go on YouTube and look at some of Kristen Gillibrand's speeches and listen to her talk and just watch her body language. The woman's got no soul. You know, she's not nuts like Warren. Like Elizabeth Warren is fucking balls. Holy shit, is that woman fucking bonkers?
Yeah, she's nuts.
Gillibrand, she's dangerous. That fucking broad is dangerous. She's like, it's funny because I've said this before. Her and like Ann Coulter are like polar opposites. Like seriously, you look at how crazy and right wing Ann Coulter is. Gillibrand is the exact opposite of her. So if lefties are frightened of Coulter, then people on the right should definitely. And I'm not even right wing; I'm a centrist, but people should be terrified of Kristen Gillibrand. She's my senator, and I'm the first one to say that fucking woman is the devil.
Yeah, I don't trust that donkey face either. I don't trust her. She's out to cut some balls off.
Yeah, she's a moron. Holy shit, is she a moron? What she just did to the state? Seriously, I can't believe that these fucking progressives went after Amazon like that and got it at. Oh, I'm fucking.
She's not punishing anybody. Amazon just moved to another state. She's not punishing nobody.
She's punishing me. She's punishing the people who live here.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm pissed off about. Believe me, I wanted that to be here. You know, believe me, I wanted an Amazon hub here. Like the thing is, what we have a big revenue here is on our tourism. I can't stand the fucking tourists. They drive me nuts. I wanted something that could supplant that. You know that. I'm saying, like, you got to understand, I'll go out and I'll be walking through Midtown and I'll be going somewhere and you see them. And they actually addressed like how Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall were dressed in Coming to America, where they're wearing the hat that says "I love New York" and they got all the "I love New York" pins on it, and their jacket has all the "I love New York" shit on it. Oh,
I don't understand. I don't see New York City as a vacation spot. I've never wanted to go there. I went there one time.
Like a war zone.
I was stationed in Quantico, Virginia, and I went upstate there to New York City with some guy who lived in Queens or Brooklyn, Bronx. We went just to his neighborhood for the weekend, and I stayed there for the weekend. Never did see downtown, nothing. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a vacation spot. I don't know what is there. I don't know. A lot of to me, I gotta say this. To me, New York City seems like it would smell real bad.
It does. It does. Manhattan has its own scent to it. Look, I'm from Long Island. I am not from Manhattan Island. I'm originally from Queens. You know, we moved out once they came out with this new shit in the 80s called crack. So we got the fuck up out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And we didn't move far. My father, only moved us about 20, 25 minutes from the Queens, Manhattan, Queens, Long Island border. So let's actually, let me clarify for people listening, the New York City, Long Island border, because Queens is part of Long Island. So is Brooklyn, 4 counties. So Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk, that's the order it goes in. And Brooklyn is small enough where it can fit inside of Queens. And Queens is small enough where it can fit inside of Nassau. And then they likewise can also fit inside of Suffolk. So I do not like Manhattan. I'll be completely honest. If I was going to get a haberdashed hat or a cobbled shoe, I would go to the Bronx or a tailored suit. Otherwise, I have no business going up into the Bronx. I do not need my clothes custom made. So I go to Jamaica Avenue and I buy the knockoff shit that gets brought down from Chinatown. You know? But, you know what it is? It's the movies. It's the comic books. That's the reason, and the video games. That's the reason people want to go to Manhattan. I tell people all the time, I used to, until the Barclays Center and all that shit that Jay-Z did to Brooklyn, where he ruined Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn has fucking skyscrapers. We never had skyscrapers. Brooklyn was beautiful, and he ruined it. But I digress. I tell people, you really want the New York experience, you go to Brooklyn, and you look at Manhattan. You enjoy the outer boroughs. Do not go to that fucking plastic facade that they got on that island. enjoy the rest of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so much nicer here.
Yeah, I don't think I was there. I think this kid when I was lived in Queens. I think that's where we went because we went to just a neighborhood. Didn't even go to no major part of the city. It was just a neighborhood he took me to for like a 3-day weekend. That was my trip to New York, and that was in 1974. I think that was, and that was the last time I've been in New York.
You know, the sad thing is though, you probably would have had, that was probably the best New York experience you could have had. Like,
It was
just
fun.
going,
It was hanging out. It was a lot of fun. Drank a lot of beer and hung a lot. Talked to a lot of girls. I mean, it was a good time. But I never really saw like the Manhattan or whatever that is. You know.
Yeah. It's, you know what it is. If you've been in downtown Chicago, it's a bigger version. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. Like where they filmed the Batman movies that came out like a few years ago.
Yeah.
That's exactly like people around here were like, they were asking me like, yo, Scoob, what part of downtown is that? I'm like, bro, that's Chicago. That ain't New York.
Yeah.
They're like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, bro, come on. Nah, come on. That's got to be Staten Island. I'm like, nah, that's not Manhattan, man. Like, no one, like, because you know what it is? A lot of the guys out here, some people don't ever even go into Manhattan. They got no reason to. So, you know, like a lot of the knuckleheads, they ask me, they're like, yeah, you're always up in Manhattan. I'm like, I fucking hate that city. But they're like, yeah, you know, the layout of it and shit. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. But yeah, if you've been in downtown Chicago, it's exactly the same as Manhattan. So you didn't miss shit. So I tell everybody, yeah, just come and go to the outer boroughs. You'll have a blast. Seriously, you come in the summertime and go into the Italian neighborhoods where they have the feast and they run around dragging the big statues of the Virgin. Yeah, it's a good time. It's like in The Godfather 2. You know, you see all the old cuisines. They come down the street and they make a spectacle of pinning $100 on the statue.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the Italian neighborhood I was in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, I personally, fuck Manhattan. I got no love for that fucking eyesore of an island.
I never had any reason to go vacationing there. It doesn't seem like a vacation spot to me. Vacation to me would be like going to Wyoming, something like that.
You know, out by me, you would have fun in the summer because do you like to fish?
I could fish, sure.
That's all we do. Oh my God. If you look on Google or Bing and you type in Captree, all one word, CAPTREE, Captree Island, that's all we do around here is fish. Everyone goes out into the bay all fucking day and fishes. Like, I'll get a phone call, like, you know, it'll be early, like 7, 8 in the morning. Yo, Scoob, what are you doing, man? We got announced. We're going to go fish. Like, all right, cool. You know? Just go drop the lines and fog out the bay.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's all we do, bro. You know, we drop the lines. Drop out, you throw out the traps, you do a little bit of wakeboarding, you come back, you pull the traps. Good times. Barbecue
I like
on the
fishing.
beach.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
barbecuing on the beach? You guys do
Yeah,
that?
well,
Oh, fuck yeah.
yeah, well, Burnside, this is all saltwater fishing. We don't. I've never fished freshwater in my life.
Yeah, we got Lake Michigan here. We got a lot of little lakes, Lake Michigan. We don't have any saltwater fish though.
Yeah, that's all we
Yeah.
fish is salt here. Where we go for usually what everyone goes for blue. We go for what we call snappers. Those are actually just baby bluefish. And the other thing that everyone
Don't take your fingers off.
Yeah. The other things we go for are fluke. Fluke. Everyone loves to go for fluke. And this is the thing. If you just come out here, I got the hidden spot that no one else really... I'm sure there's probably some other young teenager that found it by now. But I got the spot, and I would go, and all day you're bringing in 2-footers of the fluke. All
Oh,
day.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah. And we used to run the crabbing business, so I know exactly all the spots where you can get the blue claws. And if I just need one other person to go with me, we can get the fresh galamad because I know when the squid run. So, yeah, I'm saying anyone who comes out to visit, this is what I tell people all the time. Like, oh, I want to come out to New York. Yeah, you come out to New York. You come see me in the summer. Fuck Manhattan. You come out, you go fishing, and you eat a dinner like a fucking Greek god.
I like that. That sounds like a good time.
Well, you get shellfish. You get what? You don't get lobster or nothing like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to go over by the bridge to get the lobster.
You get lobster. Oh shit! Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck
All right. Sorry, Nano. We started talking about New York, and Nano hates hearing about New York. All right, we'll shut up. I don't get to talk to Bobby much, and he likes to talk to me about New York. Nano, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We got a lot of topics to cover, and one of them is the wall. We got to talk about that wall.
We
guys.
finally got a bill passed to get some money for the wall. And oh boy, is the cartel freaking.
Oh yeah, and I was watching Jericho Green earlier. Get this. When all's said and done, instead of the 5 and change, Trump's going to be getting like 8.7 or 8.9.
All right, that's a good start.
That good thing with him.
Yeah, that's what we need plus 3 bill. So
Good.
yeah, I'm hoping that he says, you know what? I told the Democrats I was going to use steel. Now fuck them. We're using concrete too.
Fuck yeah.
Seriously. I want to see them like on. You know what? Maybe he could like reduce the debt with Mexico, and on the Mexican side of the wall, he could put those things like they had for like Saving Private Ryan when they tried to storm the beach.
Wait, you're talking about those tank barricades?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we can
Oh,
get the
hell
Mexicans to let us put them on their side of the fence. That way, you know, like when they try to.
Why? Mexico doesn't have a single fucking tank in its fucking entire military that works.
Yeah, but I'm picturing, you know, like a bunch of Chicanos, you know, like in a station wagon, try to like drive into the, I don't know,
Fucking tank
it.
traps. That would
Yeah.
be funny as fuck. Bunch of these idiots trying to like climb up this wall, and
They
they
can
fall
paint
and get
graffiti
smacked
all
on the
over
tank
it.
traps.
How about graffiti and big stupid letters that don't make up any words?
Yeah.
Sure. Why the hell not? Fuck 'em.
Get some of those guys out there. Paint those walls up on both sides.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It's going to be covered in graffiti on the fucking Mexican side.
Oh yeah. I'm sure 80% of it's just gonna say "Orange Man bad."
Well,
I
mean, the point of the matter is they didn't get enough. They got nowhere near enough. They got 1.37, enough to build 55 miles of fucking fence. So, but that's okay because El Chapo's doing life, and we got all 14 billion of his monies.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
if
would
Ted
be
Cruz, you guys saw the bill that Ted Cruz proposed, the El Chapo bill, to actually use that plus
Use his money.
the other monies that we've gotten from these guys that are it's still in limbo. We got billions of dollars from drug seizures going back to the 70s that's sitting in limbo in warehouses. Which,
Yep.
by the way, that's where that piece of shit Obama got that money that he shipped to Iran. That he sent them fucking Cougarans and bullion and shit.
fucking figures.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's one of the things. You know, I hate saying this, but you know, and I'm not saying this on President Trump, but when the politicians come out and they sit there and they flap their lips about how we ain't got no money, they're full of shit. They got fucking money and they got bolt holes all over this country with money stashed. Don't let
Of
them
course, they're
kid you.
bullshit. They're politicians.
Yeah, don't ever let them kid you. Seriously, bunch of bastards.
Yeah,
Oh.
politicians always have money. That's why they're always campaigning for something, or they're always lobbying for something, some shit
Yeah.
like that. You know? And fuck, if you got like billions and millions and shit like that of confiscated drug dollars, dude, if it's no longer considered evidence, fucking put it to use. Put it to use to making the wall, so we can make an extra giant fucking Great Wall of America. You know, build one on the Mexican side, build one on the fucking Canadian side, because I don't want those fucking tree-hugging communists coming to our country either, just because they're going to say, sorry, our socialism failed, we're so sorry, we want to be Americans. Ah, fuck you, moose fuckers. Go have sex with moose.
I honestly, you know, a lot of people aren't going to like me saying this. I've always had my eye on certain parts of Canada. Fuck it. If they ever do become a problem, we could just annex those parts and just throw the Canadians off.
It'd just be like Fallout. Yeah,
I
we're
was
gonna
gonna
annex
say
Canada
that.
just for the fuck of it.
Son of a bitch beat me to it.
Seriously, like, I mean, just the only one I'm interested in is like the Yukon territory. Just connect the rest of the country to Alaska. They can have everything on the interior, the flat plains. You know, just give us the mountains with all the natural resources. You guys can have the rest of your empty country.
That would be too bad.
Seriously,
That'd be fun as hell.
no,
I
it
mean,
would.
Can you imagine being fought by Canadians? They'd be smiling the entire time. You'd be able to see them even if they were camouflaged.
Yeah, they'll be approaching you with joints and bottles of maple syrup because that's all they got.
Oh, the hysterical as hell.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. And they're exclusive. They usually have like 2 or 3 exclusive models of General Motors cars that we can't get here in this country. So kudos to them. Kudos to
after
their Canadian
annexation.
exclusives. Yeah.
It looks like
Seriously.
after
Why are you
annexation,
guys
we get
talking
that
so
back.
bad about poor Irving?
Well,
Oh, don't
Irv
worry.
can get
we'll
in
t-
here. He can defend his country. I sent Irv a link. Where is he?
Don't
That's right.
worry,
He's kicking up his heels in real life. That's why he's not with us tonight. For anyone who's wondering, Irv's actually been really busy. He's got some stuff going on in his personal life, real good stuff. So he's doing it up, man. He's living life, and God bless him. I'm glad that he's doing good. I missed the opportunity the other night to talk to him. I had to get up mad early and do a bunch of shit, so I missed him by like 5-10 minutes. But I heard that there's some good stuff going on. Not my place to talk about it on the air, but God bless. And Irv, if you're listening, put down the fucking chicken wing, and pick up the mouse and click it and get your ass in here. Seriously, because I would love to hear a Canadian's opinion.
Put
But,
down the chicken wing or the booze.
Oh, no, chicken
Either
first,
or.
then booze. Bro, trust me.
What do you drink?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Irv was a fraternity man like me, so if anything, you pregame with wings before you go to the alcohol. You got to have a
Oh,
base.
Yep.
Irving, put Gina Davis's legs down. There.
Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. You guys made me hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I was in Chicago all day today, messing around. I just
Oh,
got back
you ain't got a bite
a little
to eat,
while
man?
ago, and I was talking to him. Himmler, you're coming over Sunday, right? Maybe.
Yes. Yeah,
And
we're
with
coming
that-
over. Yeah, we're coming over Sunday, and we're gonna do some filming for 8.
Okay, with your other little Nazi buddy, right?
Yeah.
All right. I gotta make something to eat. I haven't eaten yet much. I mean, I only had like 3 or 4 meals. I gotta have one more.
Damn.
I'll see you guys later. Nice talking with you. And are you gonna be on tomorrow night or anything? Or?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, all right. I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna get something to eat right now. Okay, I'm gonna hit this little telephone thing. All right,
All
you guys
right.
have a nice night.
You too. Be good, man.
You too, man.
Take care.
Thanks for dropping by, dude.
Yeah, I had to skip dinner tonight, actually. My stomach was killing me. It's been in knots all day. You know what it was? My stomach was in knots watching the press conference. It's like, I'm not going to lie, even like when he first won, my stomach was in knots for like the first few days afterwards. And I guess it's just like a nervous thing. But now that we actually are most likely going to be getting the wall, I'm just like, it's a lot to register.
Well, the thing about it being confirmed is not really confirmed because he said something that pretty much shot him in the foot. He said he didn't need to do this, which if he didn't need to do this, it's not an emergency.
Yeah, and we both
Cool.
know what he's referring to is Congress could have actually did what the people wanted.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're still going to use that against him.
Yeah.
Of course they will, because they're a bunch of jagoffs. Yeah, the thing is, when you let communists live, especially when they're in positions of power, they use it against you completely and full-heartedly. That's why they've done absolutely everything in their power to get nothing done and just sit there and eat a bunch of fucking Cheetos.
And, it really is. I hate saying it. These people are obviously insane. Because when I hear them say, well, that wasn't real communism.
Yeah.
You know what? If it was being referred to as communism, who gives
Then
a
it's real
fuck if it was fake? Who gives a fuck if it was fake is my point. Like, if somebody, okay, and if anything bad was happening and people were calling it a name for a half a century, and then all of a sudden people come along and they say, oh, well, no, we have the real version. That was fake. You know what? If that was fake, I am horrified to see what the real version looks like. So, no, thank you. I'll pass. I'm good with my capitalism.
Hell yeah.
It's the most ridiculous shit that these kids like these. I told you the one kid I was talking to him at the college campus, he got all wide-eyed, backed up a step, and put his hand up to his mouth and said to me, my God, you're talking about pure capitalism. I go, yeah. And the kid backed away, didn't take his eyes off me for a few paces, and then ran in the other direction.
Fucking rat.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to hear, and I feel bad because I actually don't dislike this kid. I talked to him a few times on campus, but he's so fucked up from being brainwashed by these people. Like, he's terrified
sad.
that, this kid was terrified. He's telling me that Trump is going to do all this evil shit, and I'm like, bro, are you nuts? And the kid wasn't confrontational. I felt bad, so I tried to talk to him calmly, and I actually became friends with this kid, but he's a complete nutjob leftist. And I feel bad for him. Like, it's the ones like that who have been brainwashed and are confused. I really feel bad for. The rest of these militant little motherfuckers, nah. All I keep thinking of is the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Cask of Amontillado. So yeah, can't have too much sympathy for these kids.
Don't think I've heard of that one. Is it good?
Oh yeah, it's a good story. And
Yeah.
Dave, I've read everything. I have the entire book of all of Edgar Allan Poe's work, unabridged and unfinished works.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a Poe otaku.
Yeah, I love Edgar Allan Poe.
Very cool.
Nice.
Like,
That's
people
good.
say that he was an alcoholic. He was not. There's actually it's kind of like a blood/brain disorder that just one sip or even a drop, essentially, of alcohol makes you drunk.
Yeah.
Damn.
Ulysses S. Grant had the same problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe had that issue. However, he was a heroin thief.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he liked his dope.
Yep.
Well, that was really big back then. They would take heroin, they'd mix it with laudanum, they'd mix in opium, like unrefined opium. They'd mix like these cocktails, and some of them would smoke it, some of them would shoot it, some of them would snort it. It was a whole different array of ways to do it. Hell, the biggest thing that they had back in the day on the West Coast was opium dens.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And like I looked out, like when I was younger, like people would always be, yo, I got some Red Rock, man, which is, there's two types of opium that I was always privy to, was Red Rock and black tar. And I always thought opium was a waste of money because, like, opium, when it's not heroin, it's just opium. It literally, you get sleepy. You get sleepy, you get drowsy. Who the fuck wants to, seriously, I drink like a half a pot of coffee in the morning.
Well, they did it for the hallucinations.
I have never hallucinated off of opium. Believe me. I've tried. I've given it that college try. You don't hallucinate off of that shit. You
I
just
don't
get
know.
real.
Watch the movie From Hell.
I have, with Johnny Depp. And
I fucking love that movie.
then again, you know what, that the hallucinations could actually be like a cumulative effect. I never actually sat there and went on an opium binge. Like, someone would show up with some opium, like a bowl would go around maybe 2 or 3 times, and everyone would like pass out watching the TV. And I would say afterwards, like, why the fuck would you waste your money on this shit? To me, it was a waste of time. Why not? It's just buy a bottle of NyQuil, slam a few shots, and go to sleep. If that's what, why are you going to pay through the nose on this shit that could get you addicted to it? And all it does is make you nod off. To me, it's a waste of money. Well, I never got into those things. I like the other thing too with cocaine. Everyone's sitting there going on about how great coke makes you feel. Well, one, you crash and burn after you're done with that shit. But the other thing of it is, you want to get yourself an 8-ball of cocaine. The price back when I was younger was about $185. It might have gone up substantially since then. That's 1/8 of an ounce. That ain't shit. You go through that you go through that in a night. And especially if it's more than you, if you and 5 of your friends, lots of fucking luck. So I never got into that sort of drug scene because to me it just was a waste of money, waste of time. You affected your health. It makes you a miserable person and you can't enjoy it. You know, it's the same thing. I never got into hard liquor. I just seen how you see some of the people who are at the bar and the hard liquor drinkers. You could actually watch them age. Nah, beer and reefer. That's the only thing I ever fucked with, really. Beer and reefer. That's it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I never understood the whole drug culture thing. I don't understand, like, the whole, like, no offense to anyone. I'm probably gonna offend a few people here, especially here. But the whole fetish scene, I was never into that either, because what the fuck do I need props for to get laid?
That doesn't offend me.
It's all good, man.
It's my thing. Like, I mean, if people got certain fetishes, you know, and they want to get wild, yeah, fine, that's all good. But when you need a kit to get your rocks off, nah. Nah, seriously. Like, nah, baby, we can't have sex. I don't got my my boots. I don't have my my whip. I don't have my fucking gimp suit. Any broad ever said that to me, I'd look at her like, yeah, lots of luck. That's fine. I was gonna go play cards anyway.
Nice.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
when I get up there, I won't be able to do anything unless I have my schoolgirl skirt on.
Yeah.
Hope you packed it.
Seriously, if I ever went to
Joy.
some girl, yeah, if I was with a girl and we had planned a weekend and she gets in the car and she's like, oh, well, we can't have any fun because I completely forgot my suspension harness and electrified nipple clamps. I'd look at her like, oh, gee, that's a fucking shame. I turned the car around. Not for her to go get it. Now she's getting out. Like, like I was talking to a friend of mine, and because there are still assholes out there who go after people I'm friends with, I'm not going to drop her name. But you both have talked to her before, and we were talking about this online, and she was telling me her thing was she likes to be tied up. And I said, you are so lucky you don't live in New York. She said, why is that? Because a few of my friends went and were looking in the fetish sites and looked for girls who were into being tied up. And they specifically were looking for girls who lived in nice neighborhoods. And what they would do is they'd go over their house, they'd tie them up, and then they'd rob their fucking house while they're tied up.
I remember that story. That's funny.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why the fetish scene doesn't work here, because, you know, you get people that do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you like to be gagged and tied up and you do this shit voluntarily? Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, honey, give me a second. I just got to use the bathroom. Guy walks out the room as soon as the fucking burlap bag comes right out of his pocket. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah, it is. But me personally,
Imagine if someone married.
nah, I
Like
don't do
a spouse-
anything that goddamn crazy.
Spouse
man.
walks in like the next morning to find them still tied up.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Think about that. That's some fucked up shit. And like, that's the thing. That's why I never got into, like,
Hello?
you know, people. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you
Got
now.
out again.
Okay. Yeah, but that's like why people around here never really got into, like, heavy in the fetish scene on social media and social networks. And me personally, why I don't really go on to those things. You don't know what type of wild and woolly lunatic you're going to be letting up in your house. You know, really, I mean, you're meeting people on a fetish site. I mean, this could be like the site you're on could be tame compared to what they do in their personal life. So, I mean, you
That
might
is
be
a
talking.
possibility.
Yeah, you don't know. The guy you're talking to might be one of those people you go over his house and it looks like H.R. Giger, you know, like decorated.
Mhm.
You know, there's all like these biomechanical skulls and shit in the wall. I mean, you don't know who the fuck you're talking to online, so you got to be careful. And yeah, fetish sites, nah. Especially now, I hate saying this. What the fuck is with the upswing I've been noticing in the population of like natural she-males, like chicks with dicks? What the fuck is this?
I have no
Fuck if I know, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm so glad I'm not single right now. Oh my god. I mean, you see so many of like these. They'll send them to you, like people to fuck with you. They'll send you these memes, and it's a chick with a dick, and it's like, holy shit, it's actually a broad, and she's got the fucking equipment. Where the fuck did all of them come from? I mean, there's got to be like a few dozen or a few hundred memes and shit that people have sent that I've seen, and I'm like, what the fuck? Where the hell did all these broads come from with penises?
Hell,
I mean, I think I would have read something in a scientific journal if like 20 or 30 years ago there was a huge population of like fucking hermaphrodites born. I don't know. It just strikes me as a little bit odd that there's all these she-males all of a sudden. Like, where the fuck did they all come from?
Well, most of them aren't legit. They're just guys that got the figure and got tits.
That's actually a little bit more. I'm sorry, what?
And already got castrated.
All right, that's weird, but that's a little bit more reassuring because, like, I mean, they even have the voice. You'd see that's the castration for the voice. That's it. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they have a high voice now, and oh, that's fucking freaky. That's okay. These are guys who, for whatever reason, did this to themselves. Okay. That's because the other thought was really scaring the fuck out of me. Like all these times that I went out to the bar when I was younger and I struck out, I might have actually been getting like blessed by God. You know, that was actually the thought that was going through my head like a few days ago. I was thinking about it, like, my God, how many women that shot me down were actually one of these she-males? And I walked out. Right? When you start thinking about that, like, can you imagine, Burnside, every time you've gone out to a bar and got shot down by a woman, there's a slight chance that might have actually been a she-male. Right? When that gets in your head, tell me it don't give you a chill.
My friends call them shims.
I'm going to tell you right now, the best way to know if it was, a transgender, but they didn't tell you, is when they say they only like anal.
Yeah. Look, I got nothing against transgender people.
Neither do I.
This is specifically, I'm talking about the she-males, like the ones that go out there and pretend that they're a woman until you get them home and surprise,
It's a trap.
Yeah. That's why I was asking, and no one would ever answer me whenever I was asking, what the fuck is a trap?
That's
like
a
I got
a dick.
Yeah, okay. We used to call them she-males. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's some dangerous shit around here. Seriously, because that one episode they had of The Sopranos where they showed a trap, and he whatever was all scarred up, and it's because the guy who found out that it was a trap doused him with acid.
Damn.
Yeah. You will get shit like that around here. I hate saying that, but it's a mentality here where, oh, God forbid you try to do that to certain people around here because they take it personal. It's not, they don't, in their mind, it's not because the trap, I guess we'll go with that term for brevity's sake. It's not because the trap person, in their mind, it's not because the trap person did it because they were attracted to them. It's because they were trying to hurt them and humiliate them. That's like a lot of people will get, they have that mentality, I hate saying it, the New York street thug mentality that they got. Where they're like, this fucking person tried to make a monkey out of me. Well, I'm going to fix them. You ever think it was just because they thought you were hot and wanted to sleep with you? And it makes half of them want to kill them even more. But, I mean, I hate saying it like that. It's one of those things where, and granted, if I went through the same thing, my initial reaction, if I found out that this chick I was hooking up with had a penis, my initial reaction would probably be to kill the person. Like right then and there in front of me, I'd probably try to snap this guy's neck because what they did. Would that be my reaction? I'd probably be really hurt emotionally a few days later. That would probably really fuck with my head bad. But I don't think I'd want to kill the person down the road. But my initial reaction would probably be one of violence. And it's the sad thing is these trap folks they do things like this. They don't realize what you're doing to another person. It's really fucked up to do to somebody because you've just fucked that person.
They realize it. They get off on it.
Some of them do. Some of them who are sadistic, but there is a large portion of the society that, because of how they've been rigging things the past few years, they don't seem to understand the psychological shit that they're doing, because they think that this is proper because of how the Democrats have been changing our society. And it's one of those things. That's why I try to tell things to these people patient, because if you tell enough of these people and there is one person who says it to the right person, that's how an idea gets started. And one of the things that I've tried to stress when I talk to these trans folks is, are you sure you're really trans? Or are you just going with what society is telling you at this current point in time? Because they're starting to try to teach these kids now where if they don't identify as trans, there's something wrong with them.
Incredibly, yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been going on in public schools for a bit now, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one heard about this yet.
No, I heard that they're like a lot of kids are claiming that they're trans because they're being taught about this. I've never heard that they're being called abnormal if they don't come out as trans.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is, man. They're like, oh, you feel comfortable in your own body, you have to have a mental illness,
No, if you think if you fucking have a dick and you think you should be a chick, you have a mental illness.
Yeah, they're basically flipping reality upside down. Yeah, just because they decide that, all right, we're just gonna go and do all this insane psychotic shit because oh, who's the fuck's gonna stop us? Fucking insane bullshit.
I mean, that's why you need to join the PTA. That's why you need to be there. Fucking tell them, hey, look, you people are fucking insane. No, you don't get to fucking tell my kid that they need to fucking be weirdos.
They shouldn't be pulling this shit with these kids. They're too young.
Oh, absolutely.
I had said it a while ago. I hate saying this, it's been a tradition in this country for years. 18 is the age of enlistment. I'm starting to think, by looking at these younger kids, maybe we might have to push it back, because I don't think the good portion of them are mentally mature enough to serve. I hate saying that. Either that, or we're going to have to really start evaluating them and not letting them in, because how many of these people, I hate saying this, I've seen a lot of it with the chair force, not as much with the Navy, a lot more with the chair force, but the straight up anti-American shit that these guys are spouting. And it's like, really? How the fuck are you a veteran if you're going to sit here and say all this horrific shit, and I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm not even a veteran, and I can disprove like 2/3 of it just because it's common knowledge shit. And I'm sorry, we really got to start doing our screening better, apparently, because I have seen such an upswing in veterans who do not like this country. I hate saying that they're not real veterans because they serve, but I mean, if you have a legitimate beef, I'll hear it. I'll definitely, let's talk, let's listen to it. But you're going to sit here and tell me leftist lies, and you're going to sit here and quote the Democratic Party that's been debunked 1,000 times. And then I can't jibe with that, And, these kids, I mean, they oh God, I could sit here and go on all day about what's wrong with them.
Kids are fucking nuts these days. It's just simple. It is. We've got a bunch of crazy kids that have been told a bunch of crazy shit, and they're just conforming nut jobs.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Dude, I'm gonna be blunt, dude. It's the fucking combat service support fags. Okay.
Never heard of what that is.
Okay, that's 90% of the military nowadays. It's
Okay.
the motherfuckers that never saw combat.
That's
I mean, you do realize that even though the Marine Corps claims it, not all Marines are riflemen. All right.
Yeah, they got to get other weapons to use and other,
No. Most of the Marines, most of all branches are non-combat. They're support. Okay. Burnside, let me put this through your head. Most of every branch exists to support the warfighter. They don't actually go see combat themselves. They sit back and they fix aircraft, or they sit back and and they analyze intelligence reports. All right?
Yeah.
That's the vast majority of the military nowadays, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. There are
Huh.
13 fucking combat service support personnel for every warfighter.
You gotta look at it this way. Have you ever seen when they do documentaries about like the ancient Romans? They would have like almost like a traveling circus that went with them wherever they went, and
Yeah.
every Roman had tons of gear. Well, now we're in the modern age, and these guys literally they have like whole units just dedicated to back them up while they're out in the field. Most of the military is backup for the very small elite units that we have out in the field. That's what it is when you're in military now. It's not you're not just a warrior out you're a part of you're basically a cog in a machine. That's what it is. And I personally like the way that we have it rigged now. I find it efficient. I have qualms with things that I'd like to have changed, upgraded, possibly, revamped and made better. But I have no problem with like the way that the military is run right now, bar none. As far as like efficiency, is there room for improvement? Of course.
The problem is you end up with fucking people that get in there that are in there strictly for the college money.
Yeah.
And
Actually sad.
Yeah, it is.
well, it's just the reality of what's going on today. I mean, they join to actually, be a actual member. Well, they join to get the college money, man. I mean, I'm not gonna fault them for it, but that appeals to a lot of leftist shitheads,
Yeah.
And sitting there and going, oh well, these guys don't want to fight. That's why every time they there's a war, they get all upset that they might actually have to do their job. Because guess what? There's not enough infantry to do their job, and they're not specialized enough to be exempt from ground patrol. So all of a sudden, they're commo and they're kicking in fucking doors. Tough shit. Not my problem.
Yeah.
But the people that are giving this anti-American shit aren't combat arms. They are fucking, they're
Chicken Force or something like that, or just like pure logistics and so on.
They're just a logistical corps, dude.
Yeah, logistics, supply, resupply. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? That's how we beat the fucking Nazis. So
Yeah. No, I'm not knocking it at all. I'm a firm supporter and believer, and like I said, I like the way that we have shit rigged now. I'm a little annoyed. Well, actually, I'm a lot annoyed at what Obama's administration did to the Navy. They got rid of so many of our ships. Now, I understand, you can't be nostalgic. The ships actually do have a half-life. A lot of people don't realize. They're usually designed for anywhere from 25 to 50 years worth of service, depending. And I understand that you have to scrap them, but this is the thing. What they did under Obama's administration, and it started under Bush, and it's one of those things I've had a problem with. The majority of our fleets right now are basically all Arleigh Burke missile carriers.
Yeah, because that's what we need.
Yeah, I know.
Battleships are useless.
No, I wasn't going to say battleships. I was not going to say battleships. That's not what I was talking about. One of the things I've been pressing for a while now is I've said specifically for the coastal units because the Coast Guard is good, but I would like to see us maybe adopt specifically here on the East Coast to deal with a lot of just for fast response. I'd like to see us maybe utilize a Corvette fleet like they have over in Australia right now. Have you seen their new Corvettes? They're beautiful.
Yeah, the problem is we have Corvettes. They're called the They're that new Littoral class combat ship. The
Yeah,
problem is they're garbage.
that's what I'm getting at. They're big, they're bulky. I don't particularly like them. I was watching. Did you see? Do you know that they actually the way that they have the weaponry rigged on those ridiculous things? They have like they show up in another boat and they change the equipment for they have modular firing packages on these ships.
Yeah, which makes sense, dude. To be honest,
That sounds complicated as hell, though.
dude, it's modern warfare.
I have no problem with modern warfare, but my thing is, why do we need these complete modular weaponry system? Why can't we have something like what the Germans are using, where you have the one weapon that can actually utilize multiple projectiles and can be reconfigured?
Because missiles are the way of the future for the naval warfare, dude. Missiles and maybe somewhere way down the road a railgun.
Yeah, yeah.
And now what they're doing is they change these things out, dude. They're not. You guys are acting like this. Okay, I'm not trying to defend the littoral fucking combat ships because I think they're fucking garbage. But modular weapon systems are actually the way of the future. I mean, you know what your mission is going to be, so you send in ships tailor-made to do the damn job.
Oh no, I agree with you, but my whole point was they didn't have the shit on there to switch it on the fly. It was one of the things I'm like, really? You have the shit on a different ship?
Yeah, because these ships are far too small. Why do you think we're fucking reactivating 100 Oliver Hazard Perry class frigates?
Mm.
I mean, it's because we don't have the we are not getting to the level of Navy we need fast enough.
That's what I was getting at with Obama, what I was saying before, because if you look on the roster and look at how many ships he scrapped, it'll boggle your mind.
He didn't scrap them. He confined them to mothball fleet.
Right.
Which they're being reactivated.
They are reactivating them. Okay, good, because a lot of our ships, like they cut up the Connie. The Constellation got cut up. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. They chopped it the fuck up.
Yeah, that's because a non-nuclear carrier is pretty much worthless in the modern day.
Was the Connie non-nuclear? I thought the Connie was. I'm talking to the newer Constellation, the one that was the flagship when we were kids.
Yeah, no, it was not nuclear.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they are, they've been the way they've been for years.
Yeah, I thought that we retired our diesels with the midways. That's why. I didn't think. Okay, I didn't even know that.
The Kitty Hawk class was the last non-nuclear carrier, and they're thinking about bringing it back into service.
Damn.
Wait, they're bringing in a non-nuclear ship into service?
Back into service.
Yeah. See, the problem is between Bush and Obama, they struck so many ships. I think what it was, and this is something that you cannot lay on either Obama or on Bush. Let's get down to brass tacks here. These people are figureheads. It don't mean shit what they are. You know what they say. Oh, this is those two specific men. They're not like how Trump is. Trump's a whole different animal. Those two specific men were figureheads. And there were other people running the show. Anyone who says that Dick Cheney wasn't the president when Bush was in office is a liar. That man was calling the shots. And the thing was Obama was convinced he was calling the shots, but we all know it was his handlers that were like the vice president and everyone else. These were the people who were doing what they were doing. And the shots that got called under these two presidents reduced our Navy. Now, I'm not going to try to say this is a Democrat malicious plot. What this was is because they were starting to become so reliant on drones and because we were extending our missile capabilities. So in their mentality, we could reach people. We didn't need as many ships. And that's when they started doing the downsizing.
Ah.
Yeah. That's the justification. I would like to sit here and paint Obama as a villain and say that he did this to weaken the country. I don't think that was honestly the man's agenda. I don't think he has the chutzpah to sit here and try to ruin America. I think that he was honestly a soft commie, hard socialist, whatever you want to label him as, and his beliefs were molded by the way he was raised. And he honestly believed the bullshit he was peddling to us. This is the thing. I don't think Obama was evil. I think he was misguided as fuck. I think the man was honestly misguided. Hillary Clinton's evil. Obama was misguided. I honestly think that the man is a complete imbecile. Anyone who is a communist obviously is an imbecile. So there you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Communism is downright dumb. It's like, yeah, let's have absolute centralization govern everything. To such an absurdity.
Well, also, Obama's administration was convinced the littoral combat, littoral combat ship was the answer.
Oh, what is the littoral combat ship anyway?
It's a series of lightweight ships that basically are like the catamaran hull. They have a single 5-inch gun, and then they have a helideck in the back and a missile package.
It's one of those stealth-looking boats.
Oh, they're garbage. They're made out of beer cans, dude.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like they look like they would be a stealth.
That's part of their hull design, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking of that.
It looks like an F-117 on the water.
Yeah. Oh, you're thinking of like the USS Zumboldt.
No. Littorals look. They have a slightly weird.
And they're those pontoon boats.
They have a tri-ram hull on the bigger ones. They also have a large helideck. That's one of their features. They have a missile package. They have and a single 5-inch gun, but they can carry like up to 6 helicopters, and they're the bigger ones are the size of a fucking frigate.
Let me see here.
And then they have even a smaller version for coastal patrol.
Yeah, there's 2 classes.
Yeah.
See, the Freedom class and the Independence class.
The Independence class is the tri-ram hull.
Yeah.
The
That's one that said looks like it would be a stealth boat.
Yeah, I can see why you're saying that now. Yeah, because I'm looking at the picture of it.
Like the sharp edging on it.
To me, it looks like a guitar case.
Guitar.
If you look down at it, because it's got the square body and it's got the big long place where you put the neck. It looks like a guitar case.
Looks like a spatula.
Yeah, see, there you go. Your mind's in the same, or a frying pan. Like, I'll be honest, the other one that looks like a conventional ship, it's not a bad design. I can deal with that one a lot more. It's just we could do so much better. These are so cookie cutter. I mean, if you look I am in love with those Australian Corvettes. They are beautiful.
Okay, I'm curious about these Australian Corvettes. I know. I'm going to Google Australian Corvettes. I'm just going to get Corvette cars in Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can ships.
God damn it. I guess you got to put in Australian Navy Corvette or naval.
Something. But something.
There they are.
I mean, there's a lot of them. They're behind on being built. But I mean, eventually, yeah, they're going to put enough of these damn things to actually make a difference. The thing is that these are supposed to have been built in equal numbers to the Oliver Hazard Perry class.
Yeah, which I'm not seeing that just yet.
No, it's because they retired something before they had a chance, before they actually got built up. The problem with them is, I mean, they have that they're basically, these are frigates, or frigate and slightly like the Freedom class is actually the same size as a Corvette.
Yeah.
The difference is versus an Australian Corvette, which will hold one helicopter. The thing about the Littoral class that I do like is even the smallest one is designed to carry at least 3 helicopters.
No, that is good. I'm just saying because the problem I've seen with like the Littorals is that they're using them all over the place. I was saying what we should do, and I've been saying this for a while, have something like just I don't know. We have all those ships that we were the Zephyr class. You know the ones I'm talking about. Or is it no? I think it's the Tempest or the Zephyr. I don't know. The fucking storm ships. They're the smallest ships we currently have in the Navy roster. We've been using them a lot over in Southeast Asia. I've been saying for years, these are the ships that we should have down in the Gulf. These are the ships that we should have like going on the coasts. I'd like to have like 1 or 2 of these like actual Navy ships to back up the Coast Guard because, you know, I know the Coast Guard, they have their cutters, but they don't really have any heavy ordnance for if they run into anything. And it's just one of those things. I'd like them to have a few of these smaller ships.
Well, I mean, the Coast Guard is not going to be operating outside of U.S. territorial water.
Right.
And, I mean...
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I would like us to actually like bulk up the U.S. territorial fleet. I'd actually, even if we don't have these be Navy ships, I'd rather that we have a ship comparable for the Coast Guard to utilize. Like I was looking at our current cutters, they just strike me as being a little bit lacking. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, their primary mission is maritime law enforcement and maritime law enforcement and rescue. I mean, the fucking national security cutter, which is the one that's designed for actually, you know, doing interdiction. It's pretty well armed. I mean, it's got a 57mm gun, which is the average. I mean, and I can tell you, looking at it, there's a spot for a vertical launch missile cell right behind the gun. So
good. I wasn't even aware we had this one. Is it the Coast Guard? You said it's one of theirs.
It's a national security cutter.
Oh, when did they put these into service? This is something like I'm guessing in the past 5-6 years.
They laid down commission 2008 after 2 years after 2 years of sea trials, which is normal, you know. They launched them and then spent about 2 years working sailing all the kinks out of it, you know.
You know what it is? They must not, or I must not have been there when it was docked. There's a Coast Guard station right by my house. If I go down,
there's not any of them but docked in New York. There's 3 of them out of Alameda, 2 out of Charleston, South Carolina, another one out of Alameda, which is the big West Coast Coast Guard station, and then 2 in Honolulu, Hawaii.
That's why. Yeah, we have none here because there's actually a Coast Guard station right up over off of the Robert Moses Causeway. When I say by my house, I mean it's a hike. I got to drive there, but compared to any other Coast Guard station, anyway, I haven't seen the new ships. That's why I was, excuse me. That's why I was bitching because it's one of those things. I just feel I'd like us to have at least something like what you just described in case we need it. I'm glad now.
You do have the 12 Hamilton classes. I mean, it's got a 76mm gun, phalanx, 225mm, 650 cals.
Yeah. I'm just saying, because they're cranking out all these fucking independence and freedom littorals, I would say I wanted them to at least bulk up the Coast Guard a little bit. It's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole separate budget. That's not Department of the Navy. The Legend class national security cutter is going to eventually replace the Hamilton class cutter.
You ever see one of them in action, a Hamilton class? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful to watch.
They're older. I mean, they'll probably stay in. Some of them will probably stay because we won't have the budget to replace all of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of what the Coast Guard does is fast boats. I mean, they don't use cutters per se. I mean, they use cutters, but they don't use cutters like.
Cody, stop.
Yeah, most of the time when I see the Coast Guard out and about, they're in one of those big ass Zodiacs.
Yeah, because most of what they're doing is rescue.
Yeah. They'll once in a while they'll take the ship out. You know, I hate saying it. They do it basically for the tourists. Like you'll see them out on like the Hamilton in like Memorial Day. They'll take the thing out, or Labor Day. You know, you'll see them whipping around in the thing. 4th of July, that sort of shit. They'll be out on the bay with it. But I just wanted to make sure that we have, because everyone talks about our defense budget, and two of the things I've always bitched about was National Guard and Coast Guard. Like and our Air National Guard. Make sure that these things are bulked up too. It's also, that's another thing, because this is when you get these fucking leftists. You leave them opportunity, because then they can sit there and bitch about American imperialism. Like, oh, look, they haven't done anything for home defense. It's all for foreign shit. And I'm just, I'm one of those people. I'm not going to bitch at all about what we do overseas. It's our own fucking, it's our country. It's our business. If we got problems with somebody else, fuck it. We'll go and we'll settle it. But I just want to make sure while we're over there, kicking up their sandbox, that they're not able to sneak in over here because our equipment's starting to become lax.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Definitely don't want people sneaking in and causing sabotage. We've already had enough, like, ISIS sympathizers just go, Allah, we're going to blow your shit up bar.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, the Coast Guard has plenty of its own cutters. I mean, they just the newest ones haven't made it to New York because it's not a primary deployment area. I mean, most of what they're going to do up there is inspections, and you can do that with a little boat.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Most of where they're going to stick the new cutters are going to be where hurricanes might be.
That's probably a smart idea, because you say those things hold a couple helicopters, right?
Yeah. And they're also there to intercept drug and work as command and control for drug interdiction.
Oh, cool. Can you bring a whole bunch of those to Chicago? Because that would be, just park them on Lake Michigan and just fucking go to town.
Coast Guard has ships on Lake Michigan, dude.
Sweet. All right, I'm going to start a petition for that then, so they can start intercepting Chapo and his friends.
Most of it, dude, most of that shit's coming in by road. But most of what they do in the Great Lakes is break up ice on so shipping can maintain transit between the Great Lakes.
Yeah, no matter what.
Oh yeah,
commerce
that's
cannot cease. Yeah,
you got to remember, the Coast Guard's primary mission is sea rescue and maintaining of maritime traffic and law.
Mm-hmm.
Drug interdiction is something they do as a secondary mission. Their primary mission is to make sure that those sea lanes are clear.
Yeah.
And during wartime, they actually get to hunt for enemy subs against coastal waters.
Oh, that's cool as hell. They get to hunt subs during wartime, so they literally get to do a little hunt in Red October.
Oh, well, they also tend to be the ones driving the landing craft that put people ashore during wartime. Most of the guys driving the Higgins boats in World War II were U.S. Coast Guard veterans.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know that. That's fucking cool.
When I was a kid, back over at Gilgo Beach. Now, I was really young. There was my father had this cabin cruiser, And so he had the thing, and we're down at the docks, and right next to us was this houseboat. And what it was, the houseboat they were selling drugs out of. And I was really little. I think I was maybe 9 years old. And fucking Coast Guard showed up. I'll never forget it. They pulled into the fucking cut into Gilgo Beach on this cutter. Fucking guy's up there, and he's got the gun trained on him. And he actually had bulletproof vests wrapped around his legs, too. This guy was not taking any chances. And he's screaming, "Don't move, I'll blow your fucking heads off." And the guys who were their customers, they all come riding in on their bikes, and they all had their jackets turned inside out, and it all said DEA on them. And it was this big bust. They had the Coast Guard involved in it, the DEA, the FBI. They came in with their fucking helicopter. It was on the news. Oh, man.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. Bro, I love our Coast Guard. Seriously. And I'm glad, Nano, I'm glad that you gave me that intel, because not seeing anything new up over at the base the past few times I went past, I was starting to get pissed.
Well, I mean, because it takes years. It takes about 2 years to build a ship, build one of these cutters. And they're going to deploy the new big, like, these are 480-foot cutters, dude. Most of the shit you're going to have up there probably is in the 200-foot range. And for the biggest ships. No, the big ones go down south because they actually, the Coast Guard has to be able to range out. Most of your high endurance and national security cutters go down south, so they're either in Charleston or they're in Alameda, or they're going to be in Honolulu. But if they're in Charleston, it's so they can wait, because remember, these guys range all the way out to the U.S. Virgin Islands,
yeah,
and other U.S. territories.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that.
Nice.
Yeah,
and you need those bigger ships to make that range jump. That's what high endurance and medium or national security and the other large cutters are for. It is so they can go to those close by U.S. maritime territories.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there's a U.S. Coast Guard station in Guam.
I was just going to say Guam. You beat me to it.
It's a U.S. territory.
Yeah, so you need something that can actually steam all the way from, like, San Diego to get there without, like running out of juice halfway there. That's cool. That's really fucking cool, man. I'm glad that they got that new equipment. That they have those new ships. That's really cool. I'm glad. I really am. That's
Good
cool.
news, man.
Yeah, no, bro. What Obama's administration did between Navy and Coast Guard, taking their ships and shit, man, it just, it burned me. I've said this before, and I'll stress it again. You grow up here in New York, you do not get to see a lot of cool shit as far as like military. Like, we very rarely get to see a bunch of like tanks going down the highway on flatbeds. There's no missiles. There's no like basically huge movement of machinery or anything like that here. There's never a huge movement of troops. But the one thing that we get, and we don't get like fleets of planes. We got the air show in the summertime, but it's not like there's fleets of like aircraft taking off every 5 minutes. So the one thing we always had when I was younger was you'd see these ships, these big, beautiful ships going past, on their way to Manhattan. And it's just one of those things when I found out that his administration took so many beautiful ships that should have been made into museum pieces for our coastal cities. And this son of a bitch just, we're gonna get rid of them. And again, I keep saying Obama, and it's his administration. I can't even say anything about the goddamn figurehead.
Well, I'm going to be blunt. It wasn't just him. And they're not going to put every ship ever made, one version of each class,
as a museum ship. I know. I'm being realistic here. No, there was a few ships that I felt were honestly ships that should not have been scrapped because they did actually have educational value, and they were ships that had a lot of history to them. Like when I read that some of these ships were like scrapped, I was appalled. I'm like, oh my God, they scrapped it?
Well, were they scrapped or struck from the Navy records?
Scrapped, straight up scrapped. Like you can type in. I gotta look like which ships I'm talking about. I don't remember offhand, but I've seen it. It all goes down in Texas by you. That place down in the Gulf where they just cut them up.
Oh, they don't do that in the United States anymore. They strip all the sensitive equipment off of them and send them to breaker yards in, like, say, Sri Lanka.
Wow, that's so sad. You know, like it's just I'm one of those people. I wax nostalgic. I mean, I know that's a bad way to be. You shouldn't really be overly nostalgic, but it's some of these ships. Like, there's the one ship I've said if I could get my hands on it because it's still around. It's one of the fucking Liberty ships, bro.
There's only one fully preserved Liberty ship, and that's the Red Oak, and it's actually available for tours in California. It's the only one of the few reasons to actually go to California.
There's one other Liberty ship.
Yes.
It's still active. It's in Argentina.
No way. Oh.
It's still active. They still use the damn thing. It's been retrofitted a lot. And it still runs. And that's the one I showed you, Burnside. I said if I hit the lottery, I'm buying this thing. I said, and I'm parking it up over at Oak Island, and that's where I'm going to live.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I didn't know it was a Liberty ship.
Yeah,
I just thought
that's the ship I was referring to.
That they were decommissioned.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and buy the damn, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Its sister ship. What tanker is that? I want to say it's the G2 tankers.
I gotta look myself. I haven't looked in a minute. It's all on my Discord, but I'm being lazy. I don't feel like digging around in there to look. I know what you're talking about, though.
Or is it T2 tankers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise known as the Kaiser's Coffin.
Kaiser's Coffin. Damn.
Yeah, it's because they had a tendency to split in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were World War II tanker designed to like as a ship oiler. And one of them, after sea trials, split in half in the dock.
Oh, you talking about the Victory ships?
No, it's the T2 oil tanker.
Oh, okay. You did say that. I'm sorry. That's on me then. Yeah, I remember hearing about the oil tankers. I know, well, because when you said that they were like they had the leaking problem, that was a problem that they had with those Victory ships. Those things were had a real problem with leaking. The design of the ships was, I think they said it was a little bit too rigid, so it wouldn't flex in high seas, and these things they would spring in leaks constantly.
Well, the biggest problem was they were using, I think, welded hulls versus riveted hulls, or something that was just a bad idea.
Yeah. The trick is you're supposed to rivet and then weld. It's overkill, but it works.
Yeah, and the main problem wasn't the construction methodology.
Yeah.
It was because they were not warships. They were being made out of substandard steel.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of bad shit with the Victory ships. I hate saying it like that. They at least improved it with the Liberty. They figured out, okay, we really can't cut the corners on the supply because we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Interesting. I don't know too much about a lot of like intricacies of building different ships during the war and stuff. I just knew that we had stuff that was more durable and extreme.
The first thing is it's not a question of it's the fact that you pull your high grade steel for building more important stuff than support craft. You know.
Okay.
Cruisers, destroyers, submarines, everything else. I mean, and then again, some things just aren't designed. I mean, some things aren't designed to. It doesn't matter how well made they are; they're still fucked if Mother Nature decides to give them a good ass shafting. The Edmund Fitzgerald comes to mind.
Yeah. Oh god.
That ship was very well designed. The problem is,
Mother Nature just kicked its
well, the
ass.
problem is, the most violent storm places in the world are fucking the Great Lakes.
Yep. That's how she sunk. And then it got a beer named after.
And a song. And you know, but the point of the matter is, I mean, the Edmund Fitzgerald, no ship was going to survive that storm because people don't think the Great Lakes storms are hurt or something. They think it's a lake. No, it's a lake that's like 1,000 feet deep. They can build up a hell of a fucking storm in that shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald just got whacked royally. Sad. Never underestimate Mother Nature. She can sink you just as much as a torpedo can.
My father always used to talk about how that ship capsized when I was a kid. And he wondered why I was terrified to go out on the ocean.
The ocean is calm compared to the Great Lakes in a storm.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Still, I didn't want to run my chances either way. I do not like water. I'm a fisherman's son. I grew up on the water. That's all well and good. I like looking at it from the beach. I'm perfectly fine with that. Seriously, I've been out way too many times out on the ocean. Never mind the shit that lives in the water that can eat you. No, it's really disconcerting when you're in a ship and you're in a ship and you're out on the water. And it's high seas that day, and it's a beautiful sunny day, so it's not that it's that bad, but you're basically, at one point, you're on the top of a peak, a mountain peak, which is the wave that you're on, and then a split second later, you're in a valley surrounded by all these mountains, and then you're up on top of a mountain again, and you're down. That's why I don't like high seas, because it literally, you're going hundreds of feet up and then hundreds of feet down, because the waves are that high, and they're rolling waves. So it's one of those things you freak the fuck out when you're in high seas. And it's when it's not like rough seas where the waves aren't crashing all over. It's just really heavy waves that day. It freaks you the fuck out because it's one of those things where you have to steer the thing and stay vigilant because you can accidentally get capsized. And then you're in a boat that flipped and you're in 100-foot waves. Yeah, that's not fun. Not fun at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
Makes me glad I never got a ship riding shit like that. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, most people don't understand how big the ships are on the Great Lakes anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's see.
I normally don't see too many like massive ships in that moving around, but then again, probably the areas I'm that aren't very, business maritime.
I mean, okay, the Edmund Fitzgerald was 729 feet long.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It's people forget that you actually have freighter-sized ships built with entirely different maritime standards, or entirely different standards for the Great Lakes than you do for the sea.
Yeah. Think about this, Burnside. The Edmund Fitzgerald, I think that thing was about 200 feet longer than the fucking than the Yamato.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big ship.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking massive.
Yeah.
I think you're incorrect on that because the Yamato was 863 feet long.
What was our ship then? Was it the Montana that topped out at 500 and change? Not the Montana, excuse me. We didn't make Montanas. Iowa. The Montanas got scrapped on the in the dock, if I recall.
Yeah, because I know the battleship is 800. That's 860 feet for the Ohio class.
Okay.
I want to say.
I wish I had more to contribute. That you guys lost me on ship talk, man.
No, it's all right. It's one of those things, you know. He's military. I'm a Bay rat, so
The New Orleans cruiser,
Mhm.
which was a heavy cruiser during World War II, was only 500 feet long.
yeah, that's probably what I mixed it up with. But to be fair, I'm not ex-Navy. I'm only a civilian, so I'm just going off of what I remember. But still, either way, so then this thing was about the same size then as a fucking battleship when it went down.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a
And
big.
it carried a considerable amount of iron ore. It was an ore carrier. What they do is they ship ore down to Ohio to you know,
What?
they ship it down to Ohio to make actual steel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's basically like a giant ass supply ship, and then just storm kicks up, and next oh, here it
No,
goes.
it's a bulk carrier. You put raw iron ore in its cargo holds. It goes down to the steel mills in Ohio, where they turn the iron ore into steel.
Damn, that had quite a net loss then for a ship that size that just sunk, and then there goes all that iron.
Well, I mean, it was built before they required a bunch of watertight bulkheads on Great Lakes ships.
Yeah. That's why she went down so fast. From what I understand, didn't she sink in less than 10 minutes?
Yeah, and she broke in two.
Yeah.
And broke in two? I thought it just sunk within 5 minutes. That thing broke in two to boot. Fuck.
It capsized so fast they didn't even have time to do the all hands abandon ship. The fucker just went down. Didn't it go down with all hands too?
Yes, all 29 people.
Yeah. Jesus. Talk about a watery fucking grave.
Oh. We'll
Yeah,
make a movie about that one. That's
between
shitty way to go.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I always thought my father was always like, Petrota, why don't you join the Navy? You always got a warm bed. You always got food in your stomach, and no one shoots at you. I go, you know what, the Army, what happens with them? They don't drown.
Yeah.
I'd rather die, at the hands of an enemy than at the bottom of the ocean. That's just me. That's not the way I want to go out. That's one of the reasons I've always said, I would have loved to enlist in the Navy. I just wanted to be a cook, if anything. But
submarine.
Oh God, silent service? Fuck no. The old man. Once I threatened to drop out, and he gave me one of those pledge sheets where if I was going to drop out, he was going to force me to enlist, and he was going to make sure I went into silent service.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fuck that. I have really bad ADHD. You do not want me in a submarine for weeks. I'd wind up blowing up Korea. Seriously. I'm the type of person that I'd get the raptures of the deep and I go nuts. I can't do that. I do not have the faculties to sit on a submarine. I just couldn't.
I'd just get ultra claustrophobic and I'd be just sitting there waiting, okay, how many days until I drown to death because somebody shot us?
I actually lucked out with claustrophobia. What had happened was we were playing hide and seek, and I hid under the couch cushions when I was a kid. And my sister's boyfriend came and sat down on top of me.
Oh.
And I lucked out. I had one arm out of the couch and one in, so I was able to push down on the springs, so I was able to breathe. And I wound up pinned under this son of a bitch for 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. unable to move, just able to breathe, but barely. If that doesn't get you over a fear of claustrophobia, nothing will. Thinking about it now, though, that was one of the scariest things I ever dealt with. I thought I was going to die. I was like 5 years old.
But didn't, man.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like claustrophobia never bothers me. What bothers me is heights. Yeah, there was a lot of things that, looking back on it, when if I would have tried to enlist, well, if I would have I did try multiple times. If I would have actually succeeded in enlisting, I should say, yeah, I probably would have washed out just for the heights thing alone, because my problem with heights is really bad.
Damn.
Yeah, you know the scene in Transformers. You know the scene in Transformers where they got to cross the wires in Chicago so that from building to building.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to physically do that. I'd become completely catatonic.
Damn.
Yeah, I would literally grapple to the nearest thing that I could, and you would not be able to pull me off of it. I would not. I couldn't even watch that scene in the theaters. I had to look down at my feet, and I told my wife, "Let me know when it's over."
Damn.
You should see Skyscraper.
What?
You should see Skyscraper.
No,
yeah,
no, I'm good.
Yeah, that
No.
would be one that would really get you, because they got a lot of tall scenes in there.
It must
No,
suck
I-
if you were
Lack
to
of better
be left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I don't like heights. Part of, believe it or not, growing up here, that's part of the reason I never wanted to go into Manhattan too much, is don't like the tall buildings. Not being around it, that doesn't bother me. But have any of you ever been on top of a skyscraper?
No, I'd like to at some time, though. That would be absolutely cool as hell.
There's nothing scarier that I can think of than being on top of a building, and you're on top of a building, and then lo and behold, the wind kicks up. And I've always been, since I was a teenager, I've always been over 6 foot, and I've always been over 200 pounds. And there's nothing scarier than knowing that if that fencing wasn't there, you were just about to get blown off the side of the fucking building. It's a really unsettling thing. High winds on top of a skyscraper. I've been on top of when they were there, the trade centers a few times. I always preferred the Empire State Building myself.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll go up and I'll film that. That's actually,
That's a great idea. There you go.
Yeah.
There's your thinking. Yeah. Go take a stroll into town, get up into that Empire State Building, and just show everyone around. Fuck it, brother.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I think I'll do that. I'm going to wait until the spring because, like I said, high winds, and you're literally up above the clouds. That's how high up that building gets.
Oh.
Yeah. I've been up there when it rains. Cause I don't know if you guys know, it actually rains up and then the rain falls down.
What?
Yeah, rain doesn't fall down. Rain shoots up and then falls down from gravity.
Huh.
Hey, baby brother.
Yeah.
Go look at that link I just sent you.
Oh God, what is it?
Dun dun dun.
Oh, you're actually gonna love me for it.
The quartering?
Just watch the fucking clip.
It's your good old buddy getting back to smashing communists and sodomites too.
Oh, nice. Speaking of clips, Kel, when you're done watching that, I wanted to ask you about the clip that you'd sent me earlier. Because you said it had something to do with driving the NPCs and the SJWs nuts.
What doesn't drive those fuckers nuts? They get pissed off at everything.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is something that apparently went down today that I was reading into, because I couldn't remember if it actually went through, because this is something like that people are going on about for fucking God knows how long. But apparently, you actually got the mileage tax now.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I love that fucking socialism because it's so good to pay more for stupid shit. Literally. You finally got that passed now. And now everyone's gonna be like, oh, yes, so liberal. I mean, yeah, it is a couple, from what I understand, it's a couple cents extra per gallon. But if they wind up going full circle with this whole thing, because this is what because for those of you guys that don't really know, this is like one of those conspiracy things like InfoWars and going on for fucking decades about. And ironically, a few years ago, insurance companies decided to get onto it too, where they were saying, "Oh, well, we want cheaper rates here. Put this little box into your car so that we can track you by the mile and get your speed and all this other analytical data and shit. And if you're a good driver, we'll give you better rates." And it's like, yeah, how about no? Because that's basically fucking taxing me when I'm trying to get to work on time, or other shit like that. Now, what's to stop them from just going, oh, you're not driving the speed limit, so we're going to jack this up. We're going to jack that up. And there was also a couple times that, the state and them were going on about, oh, we should tax people by the mile because of global warming and all that fucking retarded shit for a long story short, because it's fucking retarded crap. Because they think, for whatever reason, because of Al Gore and all those fuckers, it's like, okay, so we charge you like $1 per mile that you drive so that we can use it to save the environment or something.
Wait.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't support those fucking boxes. Because, quite frankly, I mean, the fucking interstate in Texas where closest ones have a speed limit of 85 miles an hour, and everybody drives a fucking 100 anyway. So,
Yeah, because the way they're doing this in Illinois is they're saying, okay, you can either pay 19 cents per gallon or the regular amount of less than a penny per mile, per gallon, basically. Or we can put this little box in here because, if you don't want to pay the tax, you put the little box in there and we'll tax you by the fucking mile. Just like the insurance companies, except now it's like, okay, either you can pay it through the gas tax, directly, indirectly, however they're going to do it, or you can pay it directly through the little fucking box you put in your car. And I'm like, this is some fucking bullshit. No. Laugh my ass off because this is supposedly going to be getting passed within the next few days because I guess they finally took a vote on it. So, this will be funny.
Yeah, it's Illinois, dude. What do you expect?
I'm expecting bankruptcy, dead bodies, and hopefully an explosion or two.
Speaking of bankruptcy, Payless Shoe Stores closing all 2,100 U.S. stores.
Yeah, they closed the
wow.
Payless over by me. One of them, anyway. My wife was all pissed off.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. That's where I get my fucking shoes.
Damn, that sucks.
It does.
Payless Shoe Stores confirmed Friday that it will close its 2,100 stores in the U.S. and Puerto Rico and start liquidation sales Sunday. The company is also shuttering its e-commerce operations. What's funny is last year or a couple years ago, they just opened a super store in my town.
The
Publicity?
homeless are going to be sleeping with the alligators now.
The closing marks the biggest by a single chain this year and nearly doubles the number of retail stores set to close in 2019. We expect all stores to remain open until at least the end of March, and the majority will remain open until May. Oh my God, my roommate's going to be like, oh my God, shoes! The company said in a statement, this process does not affect the company's franchise operations or its Latin American stores, which remain open for business as usual. Then why the fuck are they closing them here?
Because they want to give the homeless and the alligators a nice habitat to live in. Maybe they want to go ahead and sell the place to some type of post-Florida apocalypse.
On Wednesday, Coresight Research released an outlook of 2019 store closures that said there was no light at the end of the tunnel.
Damn.
Gymboree is liquidating.
Never heard of them.
It's a baby clothes store.
Oh, no wonder.
Oh, no. They're very popular. Think of them.
No wonder I haven't heard of them.
Well, you've heard of Baby Gap because you've heard of the fucking Gap. Think of
Yeah, they're
them
not Baby
as
Gap.
the Gucci of baby clothes.
Oh, Christ.
They're about as expensive as a Gucci handbag.
Mm.
Prior to the Payless announcement, 2,187 store closings have been announced in the first 6 weeks of the year, according to the Global Market Research firm's report. This represented a 23% increase over the same time period of last year. Those closings include 749 Gymboree stores, 251 Shopko stores, and 94 Charlotte Russe locations. For 2018, they tracked 5,524 closings, which included all Toys R Us stores and hundreds of Mattress Firm stores. I will attest to that because we had a bunch of we had like 3 in town. They're all gone. Kmart and Sears, both of ours are gone. The record year for closings was 2017 with 8,139 shuttered stores. The Topeka, Kansas-based discount shoe retailer had previously filed for bankruptcy protection in 2017 and closed 673 stores. In September news release, Payless said it was the largest specialty footwear retailer in the Western Hemisphere with more than 3,500 stores in 40 countries worldwide, nearly 18,000 employees.
Oh, good. Shit.
Yeah, I'm upset because, oh my God, shoes. But I'm also happy because, oh my God, shoes on sale.
Oh, Christ. Good thing I'm not down there. I deal with a lot of fucking women and shoes and shit.
No. No, see, you be in there with me holding every single box of pairs of shoes I'm going to buy.
Nope. What I would do I would instead, now hear me out on this. What I would instead do is I'd procure a little something from those Cubanos that ain't too far from where you're at in Florida. And I'd go affix that something to a Jeep, do a little jury rigging so that I get the top off of it. I'd go grab my cousin, and basically we plow through there and shoot everybody with one of those old-fashioned Brownings attached to a damn Jeep and call it a day, and then set the whole place on fire.
What about my fucking shoes?
We're killing people. What do you think? You said you want shoes?
In all honesty, you may not even look at massive sales. They might just fold their inventory back into their online fucking...
No, they said that they're closing their online stores too.
Well, then I guess people don't like crappy fucking Payless shoes anymore.
I still buy them.
They're ghetto fucking shoes.
Yeah, you see...
I mean places like DF... what is it?
I don't like DFW because they're fucking expensive.
Well, there are online shoe clearing houses that have basically
and I don't
made...
like them because they're never in my right size. I ordered the right size for me, and it's actually the Chinese size.
Yeah,
Ouch.
fucking Chinese shit. Yeah, that hockey mask I ordered is made for a Chinese person's face. I put it on, I look like Jason Voorhees. The mask is all small.
I'm not seriously. The red and black corset I wore to DC. Burnside and Scooby saw it.
Yeah, she was pouring out of the damn thing.
Yeah,
she had to modify it.
Yeah, I had to modify that sucker, and that one was marked as for Japanese size 2X is a 6X here in America.
I'm gonna think that you
I
might
don't
need to
know.
do some researching into your sizing.
No, there's no researching to be done. I looked at their own fucking chart.
Yeah, a lot of the times when I order from the shit that we get from China, they send it to you in Chinese sizes. So I'll order a double X. I can't fit into the damn thing.
No joke. You want a 2X, you better buy a 6X.
Yeah. That's literally how they have their shit set up over there. The Chinese sizes are like so much different than ours.
Yeah, you
Because
have to order 4 times bigger than what you are.
yeah, because they're such. I hate saying it like this. It sounds condescending, but they're such little folks. You know.
That's because they don't get a lot of rice because of their great communism.
No, Japanese. Dude! Japan is one of the fucking biggest fucking capitalist societies in the world. And my
They're just
God.
talking about ordering shit from China, not Japan. That's why I cracked the joke.
But then again, China's not even a communist country anymore. It's a fucking capitalist economy.
Yeah, it's more like a modified form of fascism.
Yeah. It's a state-controlled capitalism. That's
So why do they still call themselves the CCP then? Chinese Communist Party.
because it's the only food. Yeah, but the party doesn't actually run the country anymore. It's the corporations that all are members of the party.
Yeah. It's basically it's like the
It's
Democrats.
a fucking oligarchy, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a fucking corporate oligarchy.
Sounds
If
about
any-
right.
If any of you remember, or if ever played EVE Online, China is the Caldari state. It is a capitalist corporate oligarchy.
All right, Scoop. It's 12 a.m. What do you want to do? Keep going or end the show?
Let's just end the stream. That way we can actually, not have to be all politically correct.
Okay.
You guys ready to show?
Of course.
All right. Start it off, Burnside.
All right. So things I got coming in the works is this Sunday we'll be filming Chronicle 8 for Backline over at Old Man Rizzles, and hopefully that'll be done within the next couple of weeks if things go according to plan. We had a little bit of a setback because of technical difficulties. Long story short, turns out we have to actually can't just rip the SD cards off the computer after we're done with them. We have to do all this other right click and do this type of shit. So a couple of them got corrupted. So until we fix that shit and or replace them, yeah. The good thing is we can at least film with the few that we've got left. We just got to move some shit around. So aside from that, hopefully within next few days, I'll also. Oh, speaking of the next few days, that does remind me. Skipping ahead of myself. Tomorrow, we'll be streaming, and we'll hopefully have the leader on again to go and recap a little bit of what we will be doing. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some designs done, some free time and shit. And that's pretty much it.
Very cool. Sounds like you got a full plate.
Oh yeah, gotta love when shit breaks and you have to fix it.
Well, still, if anything, this just gives you an opportunity to be creative again.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not so worried with the refill. It's just like, god damn it, now we gotta replace these fucking. Can't fix them.
Yeah. Nana, what about you? You got anything to show?
No.
All right. Not this time?
Not this time.
All right. What about you, Kelt? You got anything?
Nope.
All right. Tara?
I'm Tara Soon. You can find me on pretty much any social media except for Facebook, where it's Ambrosia Locke spelled with an E. As always, Burnside is in the doghouse because, well, I said so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still working on that Eagle video. Hopefully I'll get something done today or Sunday. Hopefully I'll get something done Sunday. And to those of you that gave 8 downvotes, if it's because of what was discussed in the chat, that wasn't Scooby. That was me. Fuck off. Bye.
See ya.
All right. And I guess Well, you guys know the deal. You're watching my channel. I'm Scooby331. You guys can follow me here on YouTube. I am on Minds.com, Gab AI, Patreon, and PayPal. And while we're on the subject of PayPal, I'm looking for crowdfunding. I was actually, I'm in between jobs right now for people who are interested. It's due to the fact that I'm partially disabled. And due to a snafu with New York State, the way that their system works, I'm on comp, but I'm not receiving any comp money because of the type of disability I have. I'm not able to work because they can't insure me, but they say I'm physically capable to work. So yeah, I'm caught in a loop in the system. So I want to work. It's just they can't insure me. But I digress. I was supposed to go down to DC tonight and to be there tomorrow to cover the Unite America First rally that they were going to have in the park adjacent to the White House. I wasn't able to get there because I just did not have the funds to get there. So, like I said, I'm trying to do crowdfunding. I have an event that's going to be going on in Albany on the 23rd. It's that thing where there's going to be a big protest about Governor Cuomo and his baby killing agenda. I had mentioned in the start of the program that I was going to be talking about it at the close. This is what I was referring to. So I'm trying to get up there for next Saturday. So anybody listening, if you want me to get up there and cover this, like seriously, put the screws to Cuomo. I'm not sure how much. It's been a few years since I took the train upstate, but I think a train ticket could be a little bit expensive. So anything anyone has to, that they could donate $1, $2, whatever, it would be appreciated. And yeah, that's what I got that I'm working on right now for the meantime. So just stay tuned and I'll keep you posted. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the program for tonight, folks. I really hope you guys all enjoyed the conversation we were having as much as we enjoyed having it. So I apologize for not talking to the chat too much tonight. I usually try to stay on top of that myself, but we had a lot of really, really important stuff that we had to cover. So I really didn't mean to neglect you guys, and I'll try to make it up to you on the next stream. So until next time, for Friday Night Chaos, I am your MC, Scooby331. I want to thank the panel for joining me tonight, and I want to thank the chat for watching tonight. Until next week, thank you, and good night. Bye-bye.